The battlefield was silent now. Hours ago, it had been full of fire, screams, and metal tearing metal. But now only smoke moved soft, slow, floating above broken machines and cold bodies. The ground was black, burned from heavy plasma fire. Everything looked dead. Everything looked finished. But in the center of the battlefield, something was still alive. A creature lay on the ground, half covered in dust and ash. It was huge, almost the size of a small transport vehicle. Its body was a mix of metal plates and living muscle. Sharp steel bones pushed out from its back like broken wings. Its breathing was weak, its sides rising slowly, painfully. This creature was a war dog, created by the alien empire known as the Trivax Dominion, a living weapon, and it had been left behind. The war dog tried to lift its head. Its blue mechanical eye flickered with broken electricity. Its organic eye, tired and blood red, looked around the ruined battlefield, but it saw nothing except destruction. It tried to move its legs, but they trembled and fell back weakly. Its metal tail dragged across the ground with a heavy scrape. It did not understand why its army had left it, but it remembered clearly the moment the battle had turned against the Trivax. Human soldiers arrived with unexpected force. Their strategy was fast, sharp, unpredictable. The alien commanders panicked. They ordered retreat. Transport ships rose from the ground, leaving everything behind. The war dog had run toward them, limping, injured, but the hatch closed before it could reach the ship. For a moment, the war dog believed the ship would stop, open the door again, pull it in. But the engines roared, and the ship disappeared into clouds. The war dog was abandoned. The creature remembered staring at the sky for a long time. Confusion, fear, pain. It remembered thinking one simple question. Why? It was loyal. It obeyed every command. It fought without hesitation. It bled for the Dominion. It killed for them. It did everything they asked. So why leave it to die? Now, lying in the dirt, breathing heavier and heavier, the war dog knew the answer. It was no longer useful. The Dominion did not save tools. They replaced them. A soft sound reached the war dog's ears, metal footsteps. A drone. The war dog's body tensed. Its muscles twitched. Its mechanical eye glowed brighter. Was this the enemy? Was this the final moment? A flying human rescue drone moved through the smoke, scanning the area. It was small, round, and harmless in appearance, but the war dog had been trained to fear human technology. Humans were the enemy. Humans were dangerous. Humans were killers. The drone stopped beside the war dog. A blue light scanned the creature's body. The war dog growled, a low, weak growl, but it was ready to fight if it had to. It tried to stand again. Its legs shook violently and collapsed under its weight. The drone beeped. A signal was sent. From the distance, the sound of engines approached. Smooth, deep, definitely not Trivax engines. These engines belonged to humans. The war dog felt panic rise inside its chest. Humans would not save it. Humans would end it here. They had every reason to destroy an enemy war beast. The ground vibrated lightly, a human medical ship landing nearby. The war dog watched through blurred vision as a group of armored human medics approached. Their armor was white with glowing orange bands indicating rescue unit. They carried tools, scanners, and stretchers. The war dog prepared for death. One of the humans knelt beside it. He placed a gentle hand on the creature's metal shoulder. His voice was calm, soft, nothing like the harsh orders of Trivax commanders. "It's okay," the human said. "Easy now, you're safe." Safe? The war dog did not understand that word. Not from humans. Not from anyone. The human medic turned to the others. "Vital signs are low. Cybernetic damage severe. But it's alive. We can save it." Save it? The war dog's organic eye widened in confusion. Why would humans save a weapon that had been used against them? More humans lifted heavy metal supports under the war dog's body. The creature tried to resist, to growl, to snap, but it was too weak. Its head dropped to the ground. The world was spinning. Another medic spoke through his helmet. "It's scared." "Of course it is," the first one replied. "Everything in its life has heard it. The war dog's breathing slowed. It tried to focus on the humans' faces. They did not look angry. They did not look afraid. They looked concerned. Concerned for an enemy. One human brushed dust off the war dog's snout. "You're going to be okay," he whispered. The war dog's vision blurred again. Its systems flashed several warnings. Its heart pounded slowly, then slower. The humans worked quickly, attaching stabilizers, pumping oxygen, repairing torn circuits with small emergency patches. But the war dog could hardly feel it. What it felt strangely, softly, was safety. Safety it had never felt with its own masters. Its last thought before losing consciousness was not fear, not pain, not confusion. It was a question: why do they care about me? Then everything went dark. The humans carried the broken war dog into their ship, unaware that saving this creature would change the future of both species forever. The war dog woke to a strange sound, soft beeps, steady hums, and slow breathing that was not its own. For a moment, it did not know where it was. Everything was blurry, bright, too clean. Then its vision adjusted, and the creature realized it was lying inside a long, glass medical pod. White lights glowed gently above it. Thin tubes connected to its body. Mechanical arms moved around, placing healing foam on its injuries. The air smelled different. Fresh, warm, safe. This was not a Trivax ship. This was human. Instant panic rushed through the war dog's chest. Its heart thumped fast. Its claws scratched at the metal floor of the pod. The creature tried to stand, but the pod tightened around its body to prevent movement. A red warning light flashed above it. "No, no!" "Easy," a voice said from nearby. "Calm down. You're safe here." The war dog's eyes moved toward the voice. A human stood beside the pod, wearing medical armor, without a helmet now. His face was open, peaceful. No anger, no fear, just tired eyes and a soft smile. "My name is Dr. Hale," he said. "I'm here to help you." Help. That word again. The war dog didn't understand it. Trivax commanders didn't help. They commanded, they punished, they demanded. They repaired war dogs only to send them back to murder more enemies. Help was a strange concept. Dr. Hale pressed a button, lowering the pod's stress settings. The war dog's muscles relaxed just a little. Not enough to trust, but enough to breathe. "You were dying when we found you," Hale continued. "We had to give you a full cybernetic restart. You lost a lot of blood and a lot of circuits." The war dog blinked slowly. Yes, it remembered the battlefield, the abandonment, the cold sky above it, the humans picking it up instead of killing it. Why? Why would humans save something built to attack them? Dr. Hale seemed to read its confusion. "You're probably wondering why we bothered," he said with a small laugh. "Simple. We don't leave anyone behind. Not even enemies." Enemies. The war dog had been told all humans were killers, monsters hiding behind smiling faces. But this human was gentle, calm, too calm for a soldier. Hale stepped closer and touched the glass of the pod. "You're safe," he repeated. "No one here will hurt you." The war dog growled softly, not out of aggression, but out of fear. Its entire life had been pain, commands violence. How could safety exist? More humans entered the room. 2 engineers, a nurse, and a tall woman with a military coat. She walked with confidence, like someone used to giving orders. Her name badge read Captain Mira Solis. She studied the war dog carefully. "It's awake," she said. Dr. Hale nodded. "Yes, but it's scared." "Understandable," the captain replied. She stood directly in front of the war dog, arms behind her back. "You have been through hell. But listen to me. This ship is not your enemy." The war dog watched her closely. Her voice was firm, but not cruel. There was something familiar about her tone. Strong, stable, something the creature had never received from its own commanders. "We need to know what happened on that battlefield." So Lee said, "How you ended up alone." The war dog didn't answer. It couldn't speak human language, but its eyes squeezed shut as memory flooded in. The retreat, the closing hatch, the abandonment. Dr. Hale noticed the creature shaking. "Captain, maybe it's too early. But Mira Solis shook her head. No, it needs to understand something important. She leaned closer to the pod, her voice softening. We don't treat life the way the Trivax Dominion does. We don't throw our soldiers away. We don't abandon the wounded. The war dog mechanical, I flash weakly, trying to understand her words. Solis raised a hand. Open the pod. The medical officers hesitated. Dr. Hale frowned. Captain, that might scare it. It needs to trust us, she replied. The pod hissed and opened slowly. Cool air touched the war dog's skin. Its instinct screamed to escape, to attack, to run, but its body was still too weak. Captain Solis stepped forward and placed a small bowl on the floor, water mixed with nutrient solution. Here, she said. Drink. The war dog stared at the bowl. Suspicion filled its mind. Poison? Trap? Punishment? But then it smelled the water. Clean. Pure. Healing. Slowly, shakily, the war dog lowered its head and drank. The water felt warm and soothing as it moved through its broken throat. Dr. Hale smiled. Good. That's good. Captain Solis crouched in front of it. You see? We're not like them. The war dog looked up confused. Humans were treating it with kindness, respect, care, everything the Trivax Dominion never gave. A strange feeling grew in the war dog's chest, a feeling it did not recognize. Not fear, not pain, not anger. Something new. Hope. For the first time in its life, the war dog wondered if it could belong somewhere else. It didn't know that soon, very soon, the Dominion would come looking for it, and the humans who saved it would be in terrible danger. The war dog rested on the medical bay floor, breathing slowly. Its wounds were healing, but its mind was far from calm. The humans stayed around it, watching, scanning, whispering. The creature understood none of their words, but it could feel their emotions. They were not afraid of it. They were not angry at it. They were simply concerned. This alone was confusing. War dogs were used to orders shouted at them, to pain, to commands, not gentle voices. Captain Mira Solis stood near a console, examining a floating screen. Its cybernetics are complex, she said. Strange architecture, almost like they rewrote natural instincts. Dr. Hale nodded. Yes, and look here. He pointed to a section of code. This part blocks emotional processing. It was designed to feel nothing. No fear, no joy, no sadness. So they turned it into a machine, the captain said quietly. Not a soldier, a tool. The war dog didn't understand their exact words, but it sensed their tone. Sadness, anger, pity. Emotions no Trivax commander ever showed. The tall engineer, Lyra, stepped forward. Captain, may I run a deeper scan? The memory core has locked segments. Captain Solis gave a short nod. Do it. Lyra approached the war dog slowly, showing her hands the way humans show peace. The war dog watched her carefully. Its muscles tightened, but it didn't move, not because it trusted her, but because it sensed she meant no harm. She pressed a device near its metal throat. A small hum began. The war dog felt something shift inside its mind. A memory door opening. A room appeared on the hollow screen. Dark, cold, metallic. Rows of war dogs in cages, chained and silent. Commanders walking between them, typing commands on tablets. Then another scene. A war dog, this war dog, being shocked with electric rods because it hesitated to attack a civilian target. Another memory. Upgrades forced into its bones. Screws tightened without anesthesia. Mechanical arms dragging it back to the battlefield again and again. Captain Solis inhaled sharply. They treated it like garbage. But then came the final memory. The moment the war dog had been abandoned. A Trivax officer's voice echoed from the recording. This unit is damaged beyond repair. Leave it. We have no time. The war dog on-screen limped toward the ship. The hatch closed. The engines roared. The creature stared at the rising ship with desperate confusion. Then, silence. The war dog, watching the recording, trembled. Its claws scraped the metal floor softly. Captain Solis whispered, "They left it to die." Lyra turned off the screen. "Captain, there's more. The deepest memory file is encrypted. Very advanced encryption. It's hiding something. Hale frowned. Do you think the war dog knows? Solis shook her head. Maybe not, but someone wanted this secret buried. The war dog looked up at the humans. It didn't fully understand what they had found, but it felt something heavy inside its chest. A pressure, a weight, a memory of pain that it had never been allowed to feel. Its own masters had abandoned it. Its own masters had lied to it. Its own masters had used it. But these humans they were trying to help. Dr. Hale moved closer and sat on the floor, legs crossed. A gesture of calm. A gesture that said he wasn't a threat. You went through terrible things, he said softly. No one deserves that. Not even a weapon. Weapons don't get comfort. Weapons don't get kindness. Weapons don't get gentle words. So, why did humans treat it this way? The war dog lowered its head near Hale's boots. Not submission. Not fear. Just exhaustion. Hale slowly reached out a hand and touched the side of its face. Not the metal part, but the living skin. The war dog didn't pull away. You're safe here, he said again. But this time, the war dog almost believed him. Captain Solis crossed her arms. We need answers. We don't know why the Dominion abandoned it. We don't know what's inside that locked memory. And we don't know if the enemy will come looking for it. As if summoned by her words, an alarm sounded through the ship. WEO, WEO, WEO. The war dog's ears shot up. Its tail stiffened. It scanned the room, ready to defend itself. A voice came through the intercom. Captain Solis. Unidentified signatures approaching from hyperspace. Multiple ships. Solis's expression hardened. Trivax. We believe so. Dr. Hale looked at the war dog, then at the captain. They came for it. The war dog felt its heart pound again. Its breathing grew fast. Panic returned. Trivax ships were coming. For it. For the secret it carried. For the memory it did not even understand. Captain Solis placed a hand on her weapon. Get ready. They won't let us keep it. Whatever they're hiding, it must be big. Dr. Hale looked worried. What do we do with the war dog? Solis glanced at the trembling creature. We protect it, she said firmly. Because unlike the Dominion, we don't abandon anyone. The war dog froze, stunned by her words. Protect it? No commander had ever said that before. But this was only the beginning. The Trivax Dominion was coming, and they were willing to kill anything or anyone to destroy the secret inside the war dog's mind. The alarm continued to echo through the ship, shaking the metal floors and walls. Red lights flashed above every doorway. Human soldiers rushed through the corridors, checking weapons, shouting orders. The air was thick with tension, but in the medical bay, everything felt strangely still. The war dog sat frozen in place. Its metal spine glowed faintly, reacting to danger. Its organic eye darted around the room, searching for threats. Its mechanical eye flickered between red and blue, panic and confusion fighting inside its mind. Captain Mira Solis tapped her wrist display and spoke sharply. Bridge, how many ships? For destroyers, Captain, came the reply. All Trivax. They have weapons hot. Dr. Hale swallowed hard. They came fast. They came prepared, Solis replied. This isn't a patrol. This is a hunt. The war dog lowered its head, letting out a low, rumbling sound. Not aggression, fear. Deep, painful fear. Hale knelt beside it. Hey, he said softly. It's okay. You're not alone anymore. But the war dog didn't feel safe. Its instincts screamed danger. Its body remembered the pain the Trivax had caused. It remembered the cages, the shocks, the cold rooms. The orders shouted at it until its ears bled. They were coming back for it. Captain Solis turned toward Lyra and the other engineers. Shut down the medical room and reinforce the doors. I want 2 guards outside. Yes, Captain. The crew rushed to obey. But the war dog suddenly stood, shaky legs but determined. Its claws clinked against the floor. It stared at the captain with wide, desperate eyes. It was trying to say something. Dr. Hale noticed first. Captain, I think it knows what the Trivax want. Captain Solis stepped forward, calm but firm. Do you know why they're coming? The war dog couldn't speak, but it nodded, a slow, trembling nod. Solis exhaled. Then we really are in trouble. Lyra tapped quickly on her datapad. Captain, the deepest memory file in its brain, the locked one, it's pulsing. Pulsing? Solis repeated. Yes, as if someone is trying to remotely access it. Dr. Hale looked alarmed. The Trivax are trying to wipe its memory. The war dog suddenly growled, low and painful, as if something inside its head was burning. Its cybernetic implants glowed red. It shook its head violently, trying to escape invisible chains. Hale placed both hands on the creature's neck. Hey! Stay with me. Captain Solis moved fast. Lyra, shut down external signals now. I'm trying. The war dog collapsed, panting hard, sparks falling from its metal jaw. Its whole body shivered. The humans watched in horror. They're forcing a remote self-destruct. Lyra shouted, They want to kill it before we learn the secret. Block it. Solis barked. I'm trying, Captain. A loud boom shook the ship. The floor vibrated. The emergency lights flickered. That was a warning shot, someone yelled over the intercom. The Trivax want us to surrender the creature. Solis closed her eyes for 1 second. Only one, to make a choice. Then she opened them with a fire that made even seasoned soldiers straighten. We're not giving them anything. The war dog stared at her, confused. Why? Why would humans fight for it? Risk their lives for it? Solis approached the creature and knelt, looking it directly in the eyes. Listen, she said softly but firmly. You are not property. Not theirs. Not anyone's. And I will not let them take you. Dr. Hale nodded beside her. We protect our own. The war dog's breathing slowed. Not calm, but controlled. It felt something inside its chest. Something warm. Something it had never felt before from any commander. Respect. Outside the ship, the Trivax destroyers positioned themselves. Their weapons glowed bright green, the color of full charge. The human ship Ardent Dawn was powerful but smaller. Against 4 Trivax destroyers, they had almost no chance. The intercom crackled. Captain Solis, enemy ships are charging for another strike. Solis stood. Bridge, deploy shields. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We hold them off as long as we can. Aye, Captain. Dr. Hale looked at the war dog. We need to move you to a safe room. But the war dog suddenly shook its head. No. Hale blinked. You don't want to hide? The creature stepped forward, wincing from pain, but standing tall. It lowered its body slightly, like a soldier preparing for battle. Captain Solis understood. You want to help. The war dog nodded again. This time strong, steady, certain. Hale stared in disbelief. Captain, it wants to fight for us? Solis didn't smile, but her eyes showed approval. It knows what the Trivax are here for. It knows the secret they're trying to erase. And it knows we're the only ones who tried to save it. She placed her hand on the war dog's metal shoulder. Then fight with us. The war dog straightened, muscles tensing, claws digging into the floor. The fear in its eyes didn't vanish, but it changed, became something sharper, something harder. Courage. Another explosion rocked the ship. Panels fell from the ceiling. Red lights flashed again. The Trivax were done warning. They were attacking. Captain Solis raised her voice. All hands. Battle stations. The Dominion wants this creature dead. Protect it with your lives. As humans ran to the corridors, preparing for war, the war dog followed them, limping but determined. For the first time in its life, it had something worth defending, and it would not let the humans suffer for saving it. The Trivax hunters had arrived, hungry to erase their mistake. But this time, the war dog would not face them alone. The human ship shuddered as the first Trivax destroyer opened fire. Green beams of energy streaked across the void, smashing against the Ardent Dawn shields. Sparks flew from the hull. The floor vibrated with every impact. Humans ran, shouted, and braced themselves, but the war dog stood tall in the middle of the chaos, trembling only slightly from pain. Its metal body gleamed under flickering emergency lights. Its organic muscles flexed, ready for battle. For the first time, it wasn't following orders. For the first time, it had a choice. And it chose humans. Captain Mira, Solis watched the war dog carefully. Hale, reinforce its armor. Now, she ordered. Dr. Hale and the engineers rushed to attach additional energy plates to its body. Nanobot injectors stitched metal shards into weak spots. The war dog barely noticed. Its mind was focused entirely on the sound of approaching Trivax fighters, the enemy that wanted it destroyed. This is insane, Hale muttered. It's not a soldier, it's a weapon, and we're letting it fight. Solis shook her head. It's a weapon, yes, but it's our weapon now. And more than that, it's our ally. The war dog growled softly, a low vibration through its chest. It felt different, alive in a way it had never been before. Fear still lingered, but now there was something new, something stronger. Courage. The destroyers moved closer. One ship fired a plasma volley, and the war dog leaped forward instinctively, metal claws slicing through the air. Sparks flew as its claws met incoming beams, deflecting them away from a human crew. Another volley came. This time the war dog slammed its massive body against the wall, sending a shockwave that knocked several Trivax fighters off course. Impressive, Captain Solis said, her voice steady despite the shaking ship. Hale, it's holding them off. Dr. Hale nodded but kept scanning the war dog systems. It's working at full power. But if it keeps fighting like this, it will overheat. Its body isn't built for long battles outside the battlefield. We need a plan. The war dog's glowing mechanical, I scanned the destroyers. It remembered the abandoned battlefield, the cold sky, the hatch closing, the sound of engines leaving. It would never let that happen again. Never. The war dog roared, a sound that shook the room. Humans turned toward it, fear mixed with awe. The creature's organic, I glinted red in the dim light. Then it ran toward the nearest Trivax destroyer, leaping through the air with a speed that startled even the ship's best pilots. It slammed into the destroyer's hull with a crash that shook the entire corridor. The metal plating bent under its weight. Its claws tore through weapons and sensors alike. The ship shuddered violently, struggling to maintain power. Captain Solis pressed a comm button. All teams fall back. Focus fire. The war dog will buy us time. Humans scrambled to defensive positions. The war dog moved from destroyer to destroyer, deflecting fire, smashing turrets, and slashing through alien reinforcements. It was no longer an abandoned weapon. It was a force of nature, fighting beside humans instead of for Trivax. The war dog's body glowed with energy as the repairs the humans had applied earlier worked in perfect harmony with its cybernetic systems. Sparks flew from every joint. Its tail lashed out, knocking several drones into the void of space. Its claws ripped open vents, causing explosions inside the enemy ship. For the first time, the war dog felt respect, not fear, from those around it. The humans did not shout or strike at it. They did not give cold orders. They moved with it, coordinated, trusting it as one of their own. It understood something crucial in that moment. Humans protect their own, unlike the Dominion. Humans do not abandon anyone. Then, from the corner of its vision, the war dog detected a signal, a pulse deep in its cybernetic memory. Someone wanted the secret inside its mind. The Dominion had tracked it, and the war dog realized it had a choice. Fight and protect its new allies, or flee and save itself. It didn't hesitate. The war dog roared, leaping high into the air, slashing the destroyer's command core with a single blow. Sparks and fire erupted everywhere. The Trivax crew scrambled, but the war dog's movements were precise, swift, unstoppable. A second destroyer fired directly at it. The war dog braced, letting the energy strike its reinforced armor. The shields from the humans helped absorb some of the damage. Its system sparked but held. Then, with a mighty leap, the war dog smashed into the bridge of the second ship, sending the command crew flying and leaving the vessel disabled. Captain Solis grinned, watching it. "That's our ally," she shouted. Dr. Hale, still amazed, muttered, It's protecting us, not attacking indiscriminately. It's different now." The war dog growled lowly, almost like a laugh. It felt alive, strong, free from the chains of its former masters. And it knew something else, something vital. It would never be a tool again. It would never obey blindly. And it would never allow humans, those who had shown it kindness, to be hurt. The remaining Trivax ships retreated slightly, unsure how to respond to a single war dog who fought with the skill of a weapon, but the heart of a soldier. Captain Solis pressed her comm again. All units, hold formation. Let the war dog lead the attack. The war dog crouched low, claws digging into the deck. It's mechanical, I glowed intensely. It's organic, I burned with determination. The humans around it moved in perfect coordination, trusting it completely. The war dog was no longer abandoned. It was no longer just a weapon. It had risen, and together, they were ready to face the Trivax Dominion. The battle outside the Arden Dawn had quieted, at least for now. The Trivax destroyers had retreated slightly, regrouping for another attack. Inside the ship, the war dog stood tall, heavy breath shaking its chest, sparks falling from its armor, yet its eyes glowed with determination. Humans moved around it, preparing, repairing, and scanning, but something had changed. The war dog was no longer just a fighter. It had a purpose. Dr. Hale knelt beside it, scanning its cybernetics. Captain, he said, voice tense, I think we can access a hidden memory core, but it's very dangerous. Whoever encrypted it didn't want this information to be seen. It could be lethal if mishandled. Captain Mira Solis studied the war dog closely. We have no choice. That secret might be the reason the Dominion is hunting it. Lyra prepped the deep memory interface. The war dog tilted its head, almost as if it understood. Its mechanical eye glowed a faint red. It didn't resist. Somehow, it knew this was necessary. Lyra activated a small device, connecting wires to the war dog's neural ports. The machine hummed, lights blinking, sparks flying as it linked to the deepest part of the creature's mind. The war dog growled lowly, shivering. Memories began flashing on the holographic display. Images and data the humans had never seen before. Dr. Hale adjusted the interface. It's heavily encrypted, but I think I can bypass the outer layers. The war dog's vision flickered, as if it were seeing through the human interface. Then came the file, the forbidden memory, a secret buried deep inside its brain, hidden even from itself. The display lit up star maps, alien colonies, and something worse. Plans of extermination. The war dog froze. It recognized the symbols. Trivax symbols burned into its memory. But the humans didn't understand the full weight yet. Captain Solis leaned over. What is it, Hale? Hale's voice trembled. This is a complete Trivax operation against human colonies. They were planning a genocide. Not just one planet. Mira. Hundreds. Entire systems. The war dog growled, low and angry, as memories of its training flashed in its mind. All those times it had been sent to attack human settlements, all those civilians it had been forced to fight against, and the Dominion had tried to hide it. Its body tensed. The red glow in its organic eye brightened, its claws digging into the deck. Sparks flew from its cybernetic limbs. It had been a weapon, yes, but the humans had shown it a choice. And now, the choice was clear. Dr. Hale looked at Solis. If this memory gets to the Dominion, they'll kill it to erase the evidence. The war dog's growl became a roar, vibrating through the ship. Its decision was made. It would not hide. It would not flee. It would protect the humans who saved it. And it would stop the Dominion's plan. Captain, Lyra said cautiously, we can interface further and extract all the data, but it will strain the war dog systems. It could shut down or worse. Solis nodded. We have no choice. It's worth the risk. Hale carefully guided the war dog through the neural link. The forbidden memory began to pour into the ship's mainframe. Star systems, target coordinates, timelines, the Trivax Dominion's secret plans were revealed in their entirety. The war dog's mechanical eye flashed red as a neural overload approached its limit. Sparks flew from its limbs. It trembled but did not stop. Humans worked feverishly, stabilizing the interface, pulling the data into the ship servers. Finally, the transfer completed. Every secret of the Trivax extermination plan was now in the hands of humans. The war dog collapsed onto the floor, exhausted, panting heavily. Sparks danced along its body as the energy from its cybernetic systems drained. Captain Solis knelt beside it. "You did it," she said softly. "You saved countless lives." Dr. Hale checked its vitals. "It's stable, barely, but it's alive. And the information, it's enough to stop the Dominion." The war dog's mechanical eye dimmed, its body sagging under the weight of fatigue. But inside, something stronger had awakened. Its past had been filled with pain and abandonment. Its masters had discarded it, treated it as a tool. But now it had choice, purpose, and allies. And one last flash of thought surged through its mind. "I am not a weapon anymore. I am free, and I will protect those who protected me." Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared again. Sensors detected new Trivax reinforcements approaching at hyperspeed. The Dominion had discovered the war dog's betrayal. They were coming to reclaim their secret or destroy the evidence. And the war dog along with it. Captain Solis straightened, eyes fierce. "All units, battle stations. The Dominion won't take our ally or their secret without a fight." The war dog struggled to its feet, sparks flying, joints creaking. It had given everything to save the humans and the forbidden memory. And now, it would fight to the last pulse of energy in its body. For the first time in its life, the war dog was fighting not because it was commanded, but because it chose to fight. And nothing, not the Dominion, not death, not fear, would stop it. The war dog stood on the deck of the Arden Dawn, sparks flying from its battered limbs. Its cybernetic systems were almost at full overload, and its organic muscles ached from fatigue. But it did not falter. It had a mission. The Dominion was coming, and the secret it carried, the memory of their plans, could not be lost. Countless lives depended on it. Captain Mira Solis moved beside it, her eyes sharp, voice calm but firm. "War dog," she said, "the Dominion is closing in. They want to destroy the evidence. And you, are you ready?" The war dog's mechanical eye glowed red, its organic eye burning with resolve. It gave a slow, deliberate nod. "I know," Solis said, "but you won't be alone. All of us are with you." Outside, the void of space was filled with Trivax destroyers, massive, dark, glowing with lethal energy weapons. They were fast, deadly, and organized, but the war dog did not hesitate. It leapt toward the nearest ship, claws extended. Sparks flew as it slammed into the hull, tearing through armor plating and slicing turrets in half. Human ships moved with precision around it, distracting enemy fire, shielding the war dog from the heaviest hits. Engineers monitored its vitals, repairing minor damage instantly with nano repairs. But the war dog barely noticed. Its focus was absolute. Reach the Dominion flagship, destroy the command core, protect the humans, and survive. The war dog's mind flashed with memories. The Trivax abandoning on the battlefield, the pain of being used as a weapon, the countless lives it had been forced to harm. And then humans saving it, repairing it, showing it kindness it had never known. It roared, a sound that vibrated to the Arden Dawn, a roar of defiance, of rage, of freedom. The first destroyer tried to intercept. Energy beams struck its armor, throwing it against the hull. Sparks and metal shrapnel flew. But the war dog twisted, using its tail and claws to deflect the fire, and landed on the enemy ship. It moved like lightning, tearing through corridors, disabling weapons, and cutting a path to command core. Inside the bridge of the Trivax flagship, alarms screamed. Officers scrambled. It's impossible. How is one war dog doing this? Back on the Arden Dawn, Captain Solis barked orders. Focus fire. Keep their reinforcements busy. Let it through. Dr. Hale monitored the war dog's vitals. It's overloading. Its systems won't last much longer. But the war dog ignored the pain. Overload didn't matter. Survival didn't matter. Only the mission mattered. The secret of the Dominion, the forbidden memory stored in its brain, had to survive. The humans had trusted it, saved it, fought with it, and it would not fail them. With one final leap, The war dog reached the command core. Sparks and fire erupted as it tore through reinforced plating. Energy discharged from the core, engulfing its body. Pain shot through every joint, every muscle, every nerve. But the war dog pressed on. Its claws dug into the console. Its teeth bit through cables. The core exploded. A massive shockwave threw the war dog into space. Its body spun, sparks flying, systems failing. But a human retrieval pod, piloted by Captain Solis herself, scooped it up just in time. Inside the pod, the war dog gasped, its mechanical eye flickering weakly but alive. Humans rushed to stabilize it. Dr. Hale attached emergency nanobots and whispered, "You did it! You saved us all!" The war dog's organic eye, tired and bloodshot, looked at the humans around it. For the first time in its life, it felt something more than pain or fear. Gratitude, respect, belonging. Captain Solis placed a hand gently on the war dog's armored shoulder. "You are no longer a weapon of war," she said softly. "You are our ally, our friend, our hero." The war dog's mechanical eye glowed a soft blue, a signal of trust and connection. It had been abandoned once by its masters, left to die on a battlefield. The Dominion had treated it as disposable, as nothing more than a tool. But humans had saved it, repaired it, and trusted it to choose its own path. And now it had. The war dog had not just survived. It had changed the course of a battle, preserved countless lives, and destroyed the Dominion's deadly secret. In doing so, it had become a bridge between species. Not merely a weapon, not merely a beast, but a hero. Outside, the remaining Trivax ships scattered, leaderless, confused, and defeated. The humans had survived against impossible odds. The war dog had survived against impossible odds. Together, they had achieved something extraordinary. Captain Solis looked down at the war dog and whispered, "The galaxy abandoned you once, but we won't. You are one of us now." The war dog lowered its massive head, resting on the floor of the pod, and exhaled. Exhausted, broken, yet complete. Its life had changed forever. Its fate was no longer determined by its creators, no longer by its enemies. It belonged to those who had saved it. It belonged to humanity. And somewhere deep inside, the war dog realized something profound. The galaxy might fear humans, might abandon humans, but humans never abandoned those they call their own. For the first time, the war dog was free, and the galaxy would never forget it. The last line echoed in silence across the ship, a promise written in metal, blood, and courage. The galaxy abandoned the war dog, but humans gave a future. The battlefield of space was silent now. The Trivax destroyers had retreated, their command core in ruins, their plans exposed to the galaxy. Inside the ardent dawn, the humans and the war dog finally had a moment to breathe. Sparks flew from damaged panels. Alarms blinked weakly, but the danger had passed, for now. The war dog lay on the reinforced floor of the medical bay. Its cybernetic limbs twitched occasionally, still recovering from the battle. Its organic muscles were sore, joints stiff, but it was alive, fully alive. Not just a weapon, not just a tool. It was something more, something new. Captain Mira, Solis crouched beside it. "You did more than survive," she said quietly. "You saved countless lives. Not just ours, humans across the galaxy. And maybe some of the Trivax, too." The war dog's mechanical eye glowed softly, blue this time. It was calm, reflective. Its gaze moved slowly around the room, taking in the humans, the medical tech, the softly blinking lights. They had saved it, trusted it, fought alongside it. For the first time, it understood the meaning of loyalty. Dr. Hale entered with a small tray of nutrient packs. "You need this," he said, "and maybe a long rest." The war dog sniffed the food, hesitated, then slowly accepted it. Every bite felt strange. Not fuel for battle, not energy for killing, just nourishment, just care. Lyra, the engineer, smiled as she watched. "I never thought I'd see a war dog eat voluntarily. Usually they only obey." The war dog's organic eye flicked toward her. No growl, no hiss, just acknowledgement, a small sign of connection. Captain Solis stood, hands on her hips, looking out of the ship's observation window. The stars stretched endlessly, and somewhere out there, the remnants of the Trivax fleet were regrouping. But Solis didn't seem worried. She looked determined. The war dog's ears twitched. Something in his memory still pulsed. The forbidden files, the Dominion's plans, the knowledge of how much destruction could have happened. But now, the burden felt lighter. Humans had access to the data. They could prevent future attacks. And the war dog would stand with them, protecting what mattered. A soft alarm chimed, signaling incoming communication. Solis pressed a button. A human fleet commander's voice came through. Captain Solis, reports from the outer colonies indicate that the Trivax attacks have ceased. Our people are safe, thanks to your actions and the war dog. The war dog lifted its head slightly. Its mechanical eye blinked. Recognition, pride, perhaps a concept foreign, yet growing inside its chest. Solis looked down at the creature and spoke, softly, almost like a promise. You've done more than any one of us could. The galaxy may have abandoned you before, but not anymore. You have a home now. With us. With humanity. The war dog shifted slightly, as if trying to communicate. Not words, not commands, but understanding. A bond. In the following days, the war dog was not just treated as a fighter. It was allowed to rest, to recover, to explore the ship. Engineers studied it, not for weapons upgrades, but to understand how it thought, how it felt, how it chose. And slowly, the war dog began to learn about friendship, trust, and even humor, in a way it never had before. Captain Solis walked past the war dog one evening, looking out at the stars. You know, she said softly, the galaxy isn't easy, but if anyone can face it, it's you. And together we can face anything. The war dog's organic eye met hers. A spark of emotion passed between them. Not fear, not obedience, but something far deeper. Loyalty, gratitude, connection. For the first time, the war dog allowed itself to feel something beyond survival, beyond orders, beyond instinct. It allowed itself to hope. And as the ardent dawn moved to the quiet expanse of space, a new chapter began. Not just for humans, but for the war dog. One who had been abandoned, betrayed, and forced to kill without choice, yet now had a purpose of its own. The galaxy might still be dangerous. The Trivax might regroup. New threats would appear. But the war dog no longer faced them alone. And humanity would not abandon it. For the first time in its existence, the war dog looked at the stars and imagined a future. A future where it was not a weapon. A future where it belonged. A future where humans and it, two very different species, could stand together. And in that silence, amidst the hum of the ship and the distant lights of stars, one truth became clear. The galaxy had abandoned it once. But humans had given it a future. And that future was only just beginning.